Hey, what's up, guys? Terry Ellison for Gen Y Television coming to you live for Kitchen Talk once again. No, I'm just playing. I'm just in my kitchen. Hey, listen. This past weekend, actually it was this past week, I came across an article by Jeff Hayden. If you don't know Jeff Hayden, he's one of the best writers and bloggers on business and success on the internet, period. He writes for Inc.com, and I think he might have some other private published work as well. But he's one of my favorite bloggers, and he consistently provides tons of value in everything that he writes, and so does that whole site. If you don't read Inc.com, you need to. If you're business, if you're an entrepreneur, which if you're watching my video, you probably are. Okay, so I was reading one of his articles, and he said something that instantly made me think of a story. It set a connection between me and what he was blogging about, to where I fully understood exactly what he was talking about, because this actually was proven to me a few years back. Back in 2010, here's what happened. Around April or May of 2010, I'm not exactly sure of the date, we'll just say spring 2010. One of my best friends, he works for an advertising agency, and they buy cable companies or television companies. They buy ad space for commercials and whatnot on these different networks, right? And so anyway, one of his clients was Spike Television was also their client, and so they had got hooked up with the Ultimate Fighter. If you know what the Ultimate Fighter is, then you'll know exactly everything I'm about to talk about. If you don't know what the Ultimate Fighter is, it's the Ultimate Fighting Championship. It's the biggest and best and baddest MMA, mixed martial arts fighting league on earth, right? So he actually did so much business with this particular station that they gave him a weekend trip for him and a friend, which obviously was me, to go out to Las Vegas for the Ultimate Fighter. They have a show every they might have one or two a year, and it's a competition. It's like a tournament where they get these amateur fighters who want to be pro, and they have a coach. They have two different coaches, and both coaches are already UFC fighters, right? And they coach them, and whoever wins the tournament gets a contract. So we go out there to Vegas. It was literally, it is to this day one of the best trips I've ever been on in my entire life. I mean, I'm talking about VIP, top of the line. I mean, we felt like celebrities. That's how we were treated, really. I mean, I've never been on a trip that we had some of the things that we got. We got a suite all weekend at the Encore Hotel, just a Mac Daddy casino and hotel there. We got all access pass to the Palms Casino and Resort. That's where the UFC fights a lot of their smaller fights. You have a really cool arena, and so that's every club, anything in the Palms. We got to skip the line with these old, necklaces things that we wore. Anyway, that's besides the point. The point I want to tell you is, part of that trip was we got to actually eat dinner with the coaches of the Ultimate Fighter Championship with about 10 other people who were on that trip. The coaches at that time were Forrest Griffin and Rich Franklin. Rich Ace Franklin, one of the best fighters in the history of the UFC. Okay? Now, this dinner was in the Playboy Club of the Palms Casino, private held. There were Playboy bunnies there hanging out. It was just freaking awesome. I got some pictures I can put up and send you also if you don't believe me. And anyway, for this dinner, I got to sit next to Rich Franklin. And I mean, he's one of the most down-to-earth, cool guys ever. And so is Forrest Griffin. They were both great guys, great hosts for this private dinner party that we got to go to. And so we get to talking to Forrest literally for, the whole hour. We're talking to him, chatting him up, and, we weren't beating him down with any of that starstruck. So I was asking him some legitimate, cool questions. And for those that know or don't know about Rich Franklin, there's a fighter in the UFC called Anderson Silva. He's the best fighter, pound for pound, in the world. And I don't think he's lost a fight in, 5 or 6 years. He just whips everyone. Well, Rich Franklin actually fought Anderson Silva 3 different times because he was the only person at that particular point in time that could challenge Anderson Silva. He could beat everyone else, but he never could seem to beat Silva, right? And at the time, he was injured. He had a broken arm, and I think he was getting ready to fight him. He had already fought him twice, and he was getting a third try. And so I asked Rich Franklin one particular question, and I'll never forget his answer for as long as I live, because it's the exact answer. It's the exact thing Jeff Hayden is talking about in that article. And the question was this. I said, Rich, you've got to fight some of the baddest dudes on earth. It is literally a brutal sport. Some of the baddest fighters, best mixed martial artists on earth, they all fight in this league. And you've beat, most of them in your weight class. But how do you get prepared to fight someone like Anderson Silva, when maybe you've already lost to him 2 times, you're getting a third try? How do you prepare knowing that these are the baddest fighters on the planet, and you've got to go out there and, try not to get knocked out time and time again, and all you do is win, minus, the last few. And that wasn't the exact question, but it was something like that. And his response, I'll never forget it. He told me, I train, he said, I can speak for myself, and I can speak for just about every other UFC fighter. The way I train and the way I prepare, I have full confidence. I have full belief in my ability to win every single fight. I don't care who they put on the contract in front of me. I believe that I will win. And I'll never forget. See, at the time, I didn't really understand the true power of belief. I believe I'm a confident person. I believe that I would have success. I always have. But this past month, back in actually late September, I went out to San Diego, and I saw one of the best internet marketers on the planet, David Wood, speak all weekend. Unscripted. He just gets up there and flows hypnotic language. And I'm talking about the whole crowd, 3,000 people, zoned in, sucked in. And the main message that I took away from that entire weekend, this guy makes millions of dollars every year. The main message was the power of true belief, not belief. Those of you watching this that truly get this, it may not happen this month, it may not happen 6 months, it may not happen this year. But those of you that truly believe you will be great with irrational optimism, you will succeed. So long as you never quit. Just like Rich Franklin told me, just like David Wood spoke about all weekend, the power of belief and the power of a positive mindset, that you can succeed no matter what, without fail. It will happen. It's the law of inevitability. And so I just want to shoot you a quick video and tell you, because that article by Jeff Hayden, man, it just took me right back to that exact seat. I'll never forget what Rich Franklin told me, because that's really one of the only pro athletes that I've been able to ever ask a question like that and just get an answer just hanging out like buddies, The true power of belief will take you to places that you've always dreamed, and it will keep those who don't believe in themselves, who make up lies and have these fears, it will keep you exactly where you've always been. So if you want greatness, if you want to succeed, you better believe in yourself without fail. There's no other options. When you do, fear disappears, worry and doubt evaporates, and you will become successful. Terry Ellison, Gen Y Television, peace out.